Peace and blessings, Israel. First and foremost, I want to take this time and give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh through his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, for allowing his word to come out. And I hope you sincere brothers and sisters are edified by this word. And the name of the lesson is called The Best Teacher in Your Life is Experience. So remember what you have seen thus far. Let me say it again. The best teacher in your life is experience. So remember what you have seen thus far. This is going to be a cold-blooded word. I think that sometimes in life you experience certain things and it just comes full circle. For those who follow the channel, know about my daughter just had her car accident. The same daughter just celebrate graduating from high school. And we had a get-together, a private get-together a few days ago. And my mom's, her husband, myself, my wife, and my granddaughter all gave her a charge, so she can, as she transitioned to the next phase of her life. And everybody shared some real jewels. And as I was meditating and I thought about it and I said, man, out of all the wisdom that we gave her, the most important thing, not only my daughter, but also others, is understanding that the best teacher in your life is experience, man. And so in this word, I want to share the importance and understanding of and being able to identify who your best teacher is. Now, what you see on the screen is a professor. You got a lot of people who say this particular individual is the best teacher that they have ever, encountered at some point in their educational career. And this will be considered a worldly teacher, an instructor, a preceptor, a tutor. Okay? And then in the spiritual world, you have a preacher and a minister, one who instructs others spiritually, being considered a teacher as well. Well, whether it's a worldly teacher or spiritual teacher, okay, neither one can compare to what life experiences teach you. Now, when it comes to experiences, it's a series of trials or events and circumstances that comes with life in which you are able to gain knowledge. You see that? The key thing is you gain knowledge. That's the beauty that's why your life experiences is the best teacher, because you are able to gain knowledge from it, man. Now, in this word, we're going to give you a biblical example of a spiritual teacher, and we're going to give you a biblical example of experience so we can put this piece together all the way through. And the first word we're going to come with is John 3:2. This speaks about Yahushua. And Yahushua was considered a teacher, and he will be considered a biblical teacher, or an example of a biblical teacher. It says in John 3:2, the same came to Yahushua by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from Yahweh. You see that? So Yahushua was considered a teacher who taught concerning the things of his father Yahweh. And Yahushua was also one who showed men the way of salvation, which made him a biblical instructor, aka teacher. You see? So this Yahushua is the ultimate biblical instructor. But we're not talking about your biblical teacher, but we're just showing you when it comes to the spiritual aspect of your life, Yahushua is the best teacher that you want to come across. But the best teacher we're dealing with today is not dealing with biblical. It's dealing with your life, period. Since you've been a child to a young adult to an adult for some of you. And the best teacher, when you recollect all those years up until now, you're going to find out your life experiences is the best teacher. That's why I say, remember what you have seen thus far. Now, I'm going to show you a biblical example of experience, having experience, and the benefit of that experience. In Genesis 30 and 27, this is a biblical example of experience, man. It says in Genesis 30, verse 27, bear with me, I didn't have this loaded, but it says in Genesis 30:27, and Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thy eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience. You see that? Learned by experience, man. Can't make this up. He said he learned by experience that the Lord have blessed me for thy sake. You see that? Experience, man. The experience that it's talking about, Laban's talking about, is being able to observe and view attentively, which is the absolute best way of learning, which allow you to remember your ups and downs, which allow you to remember your highs and lows, and most importantly, it allows you to remember your mistakes and mishaps. See, that's where experience comes in at. Because in life, you can go back and observe and view attentively the things that you experience. And that's the best, that's the absolute best way of learning. That's why life itself is your best teacher. You see? Now, as we get ready to close off this word, I'm going to use myself as a case study. I'm going to use myself so you'll be able to understand why my life experience is my best teacher. Now, if you, a man, just like myself, you should have one woman. You should deal with one woman and not deal with several women. In other words, don't be a playboy or don't be a ladies' man. You should deal with just one woman. You see? Now, how did I come to that understands me's? My life experiences is what led me to understand I should have just had one woman and not deal with several women. Now, you men, listen up. This is why your life experience is your best teacher, because when it came to me and choosing to deal with several women and not one woman, there were some things that happened that I had to learn from. Number one, man, STD. I think I was 18 or 19, almost 20 years old, and I suffered chlamydia. Why? Because I was running through all these females thinking it was sweet. You see? So that experience taught me, like, no, I should have been dealing with just one woman. Life experiences also, when it comes to dealing with women, more than one woman, you have children out of wedlock. And then when you have children out of wedlock, you're going to have child support issues. You see that? See, you can tell a person this, it ain't going to resonate. But when it happened to them, when it actually happens to them, you realize, oh shit, this ain't it. So a person can put you on all type of game of life, but it's your own life experience is what's going to teach you. So that's why you ought to remember what you've seen thus far, man. Also, when you're dealing with a woman, you got to understand in that relationship, you're going to have issues. You're going to have problems. There's a thing called confrontation. And when you have a confrontation with your woman, you have to learn how to walk away and let cooler heads prevail. If not, you're going to find yourself in jail for a domestic violence charge. You see that? Nobody can't teach you that. Your life experiences is going to teach you what to and what not to. You can read any book you want. You can get any advice from whoever you want. But your life experiences is going to be the best teacher, man. And then you mess around and catch felonies. See? These are all things that's going to teach you. Be your best teacher of life. Valuing money. When I was younger, I didn't value money. Like, I didn't understand what savings, investments, 401ks. No, I wasted money on clothes, shoes, jewelry, partying and bullshitting. You see? I'm 46. So I was able to learn through my life experience how to value money, credit, savings, investments. Yeah, I couldn't get that from a book. It's your life experiences, man. Your life experiences is going to allow you to eliminate and avoid mistakes, man. What's the name of the lesson? The best teacher in your life is experience. So remember what you have seen thus far, man. And another thing for you brothers out there, marry the right woman. Don't the right woman. Not only just deal with one woman, but when you deal with that one woman, marry the right one. Don't rush it. Take your time. Because I'm in my second marriage, but my first marriage was a disaster. So my first marriage is what I was able to allow me to be in my second marriage, because the best teacher was in my first marriage. I learned what not to do. I learned what was live and what was jive. See, nobody couldn't tell me, how to deal with that situation. Nobody couldn't give me a book and say, hey, well, this is how you deal with that. My life experience is what allowed me to overcome that. So if you get married, marry the right one. Don't get married because of the church might pressure you or y'all got kids now and all that. No, man. Marry the right one. And don't rush it. Take your time, man. So I'm just using myself as an example to show you how you see how the best teacher in my life is experience, man. You have people that say, man, if I knew what I knew now, man, I'd be this and that. That's bullshit, excuse my French. Because you were meant to go through what you went through to get you to this point. How you think you can learn from that? When I hear people say all the time, man, I even been caught up into that. Man, if I knew what I knew now, boy, I'd be woo-wee. Nah, man, please understand. What you went through thus far is what allowed you to get to and who you are today. Your life experience. You see? Yeah, and your best teacher, man, is your life experiences, bro. I'm just telling you, man. It ain't this professor you see on the screen. No, he's not your best teacher. A preacher, a minister, he's not your best teacher. Your best teacher in your life is experience, man. I'm telling you. You sincere sisters out there that have children, especially if your children at a certain age now, from when the first time you birthed that child to now, from the time you was breastfeeding to now you helping them get apartments and homes and all of that. What was the best teacher in helping you become motherhood? Your experience, man. The journey that you took. And see, when you understand that life experiences is your best teacher, you can pass that down to others because you've proven. Your life experiences have proven you to know what you're talking about when it comes to a particular situation. You see? Yeah, man, it's cold-blooded, man. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but like I said, man, you can get all the advice you want, but your best teacher is going to be your life experiences, man. And that's real. I'm just telling you, man. I hope you sincere brothers and sisters is edified by this word. And again, the name of the lesson is called "The Best Teacher in Your Life is Experience." So remember what you have seen thus far. Because like I said, man, if you haven't lived long enough, you ain't learned nothing. But if you live long enough, oh man, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about when I say the best teacher in your life is experience, man. How are you going to be able to grow? You see? How are you going to grow? How are you going to overcome things, hardships and things like that? Mistakes and mishaps. If you ain't never had no mistakes, how you going to know how to fix them? If you ain't never experienced what it's like to have ups and downs, highs and lows, come on, man. I'm telling you, man, this that big boy stuff. This that big boy, big girl stuff right here, man. I'm telling you, if you over 40 years old, you already know. You already know every word that I'm saying because you done lived it. But if you under 40 years old, you ain't even began to understand me on how the best teacher in your life is experienced because you ain't lived long enough to go through nothing and deal with nothing, man. Some are an exception to that rule, but you got to be a 70s baby, at least 40 years old, to appreciate and understand that the best teacher in your life ain't the professor at a college or your deacon or your preacher. Your experience, man. And like I said, to be able to understand your experience being your best teacher, you got to learn how to observe and view attentively what you've been through. That's the absolute best way of learning. But if you ain't paying attention as you go of the experiences you have had, you in a trick bag. And that's real. I hope you sincere brothers and sisters was edified by this word, and we give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, Yahushua, for allowing this word to come out. Shalom.